It was a cold, cloudy evening when I arrived at St. Thomas' Hospital in London to begin my first duty as a trainee medical assistant. I had just turned 20, fresh out of college, and excited to start something meaningful. I expected injections, stretchers, and paperwork, not therapy dogs. But fate had other plans. I was assigned to the animal-assisted therapy unit, a part of the hospital where specially trained dogs help soothe patients recovering from trauma, grief, or surgeries. There, I met her, Dr. Olivia Hart, age 32, a calm, striking woman with eyes that seemed to carry stories. She had a soft voice, a confident smile, and a quiet strength that instantly drew people in. "New recruit?" she asked as she brushed the golden fur of a dog named Marley. "Yeah," I replied nervously. "Ethan Rhodes." She smiled. "Welcome to the quietest chaos you'll ever fall in love with." And she was right. That first night, we tended to children who had nightmares, sat with veterans who hadn't spoken in days, and walked the dogs through silent hospital halls. Every moment with her made my heart race. She was graceful, patient, and warm. I'd never met anyone like her. Around 2:15 a.m., we sat on the hospital's rooftop garden. Marley curled up beside us. The wind was cold, but something about her presence felt like home. "I never expected night duty to be this peaceful," I said. Olivia sipped her tea. "It's peaceful because the world sleeps. That's when truth walks in." I don't know what came over me, but I said it right there. "I think I'm falling for you." She looked at me, her expression unreadable. "You're young," she said softly. "Too young for what you think this is. I know I'm 20, but it feels real." She didn't laugh. She didn't turn away. She just looked at me for a long time and said, "Let's not rush. Let's wait. Real feelings are never in a hurry." And we did. Over the next few months, we worked night shifts together, building something neither of us had expected. It wasn't just attraction, it was understanding, respect, deep connection. We waited. We never crossed lines. No holding hands. No kisses. Just long talks, silent gazes, shared laughter, and walking Marley in the moonlight. She began to trust me, and I cherished her more every day. But not everyone saw it that way. Some nurses whispered. A few doctors raised eyebrows. One even asked her directly, "Why him? He's just a trainee." She always smiled and said, "Because he listens." One night, Olivia didn't come for duty. I was told she had called in sick. The next night, again absent. And on the third night, I got a letter from the hospital administration. It was marked private. Inside, it said, "You are no longer permitted to work in the therapy unit until further notice. Dr. Olivia Hart has been temporarily suspended pending investigation. Do not attempt to contact her." I froze. What investigation? What happened? I rushed to her apartment, but the door was locked. No one answered. Days turned into weeks. She was gone. No calls. No messages. Just vanished. Then one rainy evening, I found a small envelope slipped under my door. No return address. No name. Inside was a photo of me and Olivia sitting on the rooftop garden with Marley. And a note. The truth wasn't in the night. It was always hidden in the light. "I never meant for you to find out this way. Forgive me." Oh. And that's when I realized I didn't really know who Dr. Olivia Hart was. And now I had to find out no matter what it cost me. 1 month later, she was gone. Dr. Olivia Hart, the woman who changed my life during our silent night shifts, had vanished. The hospital gave no details. Her apartment was locked. The letter she left behind only raised more questions than answers. But I couldn't move on. I was no longer allowed in the therapy unit. I was moved to the general ward, far from Marley and the place where our connection had blossomed. I felt like a stranger in the very hospital where I found my purpose and my heart. Still, every night after my shift, I walked past the rooftop garden where we used to sit. I hoped she'd appear again. But all I got was silence. Until one night, as I was heading home through the rain, someone grabbed my arm outside the hospital gates. It was Nurse Claire, one of Olivia's old colleagues. I shouldn't be telling you this, she whispered. But you need to know. Olivia didn't just get suspended. She was being watched. My heart pounded. Watched? By who? Claire glanced around and said, "Come to the old records room tomorrow night. Bring no one." She left before I could ask more. The next night, 11:45 p.m., I entered the old records room. Dust. Silence. Stale air. Claire was already there with a worn-out file in her hand. "She never told you, did she?" Claire asked. "Told me what?" She opened the file. Inside were documents, old newspaper clippings, and a sealed hospital report. My hands trembled as I read the headline. "Senior doctor suspended in 2018 over mystery case involving illegal therapy trials." Below it was Olivia's name. My heart sank. Claire explained, "Years ago, Olivia was involved in an unapproved emotional therapy program. It wasn't harmful, but it broke hospital protocols. She used emotional exposure, deep psychological bonds, even allowed herself to fall for a terminal patient, and he died loving her." I stared at the photo in the file. It was Olivia, holding a dying man's hand in the therapy room. "They said she blurred the lines too much," Claire continued. "So they buried the case. Gave her one final chance. But when she got close to you, the board feared she was repeating history." I was speechless. "She was never trying to hurt you," Claire said. "She was trying to protect you from herself." That night, I sat alone on the rooftop garden again. Marley was gone. So was Olivia. Until I felt a paper under the bench. A note. "Dear Ethan, I loved you, but I was scared of becoming that woman again. You reminded me of everything I lost, and everything I could ruin again. I didn't disappear because I didn't care. I disappeared because I did." Oh. I held the letter to my chest, tears in my eyes. But just as I was about to leave, my phone buzzed. A blocked number. One message. "She's not who you think she is. Meet me where it all started. Midnight. Alone." I looked around. The hospital was quiet. Was Olivia hiding something even deeper? Or was someone else watching us the whole time? I reached the rooftop at midnight, exactly where it all began. The air was still. London's skyline blinked quietly in the distance. I waited, heart pounding, unsure who had sent that last message. Then footsteps. A hooded figure approached from the shadows, and for a second, I hoped it was her. But it wasn't. It was Mr. Callum Graves, the hospital's internal investigation officer. Cold eyes. Silent demeanor. "You really cared for her, didn't you?" he said. I nodded. "Where is she?" He handed me a small USB drive. "This is all that's left of her career. Surveillance footage, letters, and her final session log." I stared at him. "Why are you giving this to me?" "Because she broke every rule, but not for herself. She did it for you." He turned to leave, but added one last line. "She gave up her license. Disappeared by choice. Because she knew if she stayed, you'd never leave her side. And the truth is," he paused, "she was dying too." The world stopped. I dropped to my knees.